Hello, fellow viewers. I have one simple question to ask you. Are you in the market for a new wife? If the answer is no, please disregard the rest of this. If the answer is yes, I have more questions and information to pass on to you. Now, perhaps this scenario describes you. You lost your wife recently to disease, to famine, or in a terrible, terrible accident that you happened to witness. And if you witnessed said terrible accident, then those memories are seared into your brain, into your heart, into your soul. They're never going to leave. They're going to haunt you forever. But even though those memories are haunting you and the grief is haunting you, you know what you want to do? You want to have that human contact because we all need human companionship in some form or another. But you don't want to do the dating game. You don't want to do any of that stuff because it's hard to find like-minded people out there. Dating's tough, it's expensive, and also you could have a date going along great and suddenly they rip out your heart, pluck at the strings, and then leave you there at the table. And a heart is kind of conducive to a human life continuing. We sort of need that. Now, if that scenario doesn't describe you, maybe this one does. You have a wife, but you want to reprogram her. So she's more of the, like-minded wife that you want. Somebody that you thought you married and you thought you knew, but she was somebody that you used to know, somebody that you used to know, and you decide, I want to change her around to the wife that I really want. A wife-like individual that will do anything that I want and then some. And, we'll bang in the bed, to the windows, to the wall, to the sweat drop down anyway. The whole point is, can't do that. We have copyright, issues with these commercials. But if either of those scenarios describe you, then come on down to Wifelike Enterprises, where this certainly is not cheap. But if you've got the money, we have got your honey. Wifelike was written and directed by James Bird, who did We Are Boats. This stars Jonathan Rhys-Meyers as William, who's an agent that tries to get AI sex bots back with their owners, and has a wife, Meredith, played by Elena Kramporis. Pretty certain I mispronounced that. I do apologize. And this is basically Stepford Wives, just a little bit more sci-fi. And it's so futuristic. It's in the not too distant future. Perhaps next Sunday AD, there was a guy named Joel not too different from you or me. Anybody gets that? I fucking love you guys. So yeah, William is aware of this particular group, this terrorist group, so they're such evil people, they reprogram these sex bots to blow up places and take down this system where it's SCAIR, Sentient Citizens for AI Rights. That's sadly probably the most creative part of the script. And William has Meredith. He lost her recently, and he has her back, and he has to reprogram her because she got damaged, and he's trying to just make sure that she is the wife that he wants her to be. But then more shit gets revealed, and it turns out that maybe the people aren't who you thought they were. God damn it, Dennis Green, you lied to me. You lied to me. If anybody remembers Dennis Green in that quote, I love you guys. Okay, so this movie is very, very cheap. I can't imagine this costs more than like $5 to $10 million. I don't even know if it costs that much. The premise isn't the worst in the world, if not the most wholly original. The thing is, you can tell exactly where this is going from the very beginning. I mean, honestly, it is not that hard to figure it out. And predictability is not the worst thing in the world. But unfortunately here, it dooms the movie. One of the people that's in this is C.J. Perry, also known to WWE fans as Lana. She's only in this for like 3 scenes. Just FYI. And it's not until like the 3rd act of the movie. She acts about as well as she wrestles. And wrestles as well as she acts. That being said, keeps her out of the ring, that's okay. The techno music was certainly a choice. The settings aren't bad. There's these, futuristic cars in these sterilized settings. And this, all these, bright neon lights on these buildings and everything. So it's obviously futuristic. I think it was filmed in Vancouver. In fact, I'm pretty certain it was filmed in Vancouver because it was in the BC province. And I think Vancouver is about the only city fancy enough up there to support this. I do want to say that there is one funny line in this, like, the first couple of minutes are the hardest. That's what she said. And then she gets bored and just lies there because you're not very good at what you do. I would know nothing about this, but he helps set up his wife. You can even set the sex drive to a certain, percentage. And then it becomes obvious where this whole thing's going, and it actually gets almost maddening that this movie takes an hour and 45 minutes to get to its point. Like, all the stuff gets revealed in like the last 20 minutes, even though any viewer with half a brain cell or even a quarter of a brain cell or with the ability to keep drool in their mouth would have been able to figure this out. And again, predictability is not the worst thing in the world, but this just wasn't very good. And that's it. Also, this group is trying to get at Meredith because they're trying to unlock her memories. You need to remember. You need to do this. You need to go do something. You need to help us. Help me. Spock, help me. That's pretty much it. I'm going to get into spoilers here. It's not really going to take all that much, but it's, again, not the worst thing I've seen this year. There's a little bit of ingenuity, but it's a lot of just blah. It's just the same stuff you've seen before in most sci-fi movies. And all William, it's obvious that there's certain things going on here. There's a long lost love. There's all this other stuff going on. All these sex bots need to be reprogrammed, captured, and all this stuff. Can they think for themselves? What can they do? All these questions are raised, and none of them are really answered because the movie didn't have the budget or really the acting to pull it off. But again, it presents a couple neat little ideas, and that's really about it. Now to get into spoilers. It's only a few bucks on Amazon if you want to rent it. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers! Okay, so the whole thing about William and Meredith. Well, Meredith keeps seeing in her dreams this weird guy with a mask on. And then this other person, Louise, played by Agam Darcy, who is beautiful, by the way. God damn, she looks great. She's trying to get Meredith to remember this stuff. What the hell's going on here? This, scare, they're clearly, a bad group of people. It's not like William's bad. He goes into these memories. There's this thing called the dreamscape, and they, get into the memories, and they're trying to save Meredith because Meredith is being targeted by this guy Keen. It turns out that actually Keen's already dead, and he lives on in Meredith's memories. Now, why would she remember this guy? She can't quite remember because that was her husband, and William stole her. That's it. That's it right there. That's pretty much it. Meredith does have one part where she kills the guy, and it's kind of hilarious. And there's a lot of setup like, oh, she didn't use the net. Jim never drank coffee at home. Airplane, such a great goddamn movie. Such a great goddamn movie. A lot funnier than this. This was unintentionally hilarious, but it was also very bland. Very, very dull. But yeah, that's the whole thing. William stole Meredith and did all this because he thought that she should be his wife. Elena gets naked a few times. I think that was really the selling point of this movie. And at one point I noted that this movie had almost as much sex as blue is the warmest color. But nevertheless, it was what it was. It just wasn't great. And they hinted at a possible sequel. Because now William is one of these bots. Not a sex bot. That's my sex box, and her name is Sony. That's it. That's all this is. It's just a bland Stepford Wives type clone with a few little ideas. It's like if Equilibrium had a lot less ingenuity. It was obvious where they were going with William. It was obvious that William was a goddamn creep and he was lying about all this stuff. And Meredith was a double agent. She's the ringmaster. Are you the ring keeper? And there's now going to be this fight between the Scare Group and Wifelike Enterprises. Maybe they can get more of a budget together and they can have an all-out war, and as opposed to this movie, which is an all-out snore. I'm sorry, F. I'm giving it an F. I'm probably going to get hate for it. I don't really care because this is just the opinion of one movie fan. That's it. F. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rentlin. I'll see you soon.